What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to be building an exhaust. A couple things to note. One, I really wanted to be wiring right now. You'll see in this episode there were some parts delays, and so I just, in the effort to push forward, just started building the exhaust. The second thing is much love to Lost Cause Ranch. They basically pioneered exactly what I did. And truth be told, the exhaust came out pretty legit. It's got some things that we'll discuss at the end, but thanks for following along, and let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, guys, so let's pardon the mess. Again, I was working toward getting everything wired, and now I'm changing gears, so I need to get all this cleaned up. But here's what we got. I got these two U-bends, right? A 4-foot section of exhaust. This is basically exactly what Lost Cause Ranch laid out, and we got these. I got these these flanges that go to the exhaust manifold. And the cool thing about these is, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like a little lip around the edge that will make tacking and welding a lot easier. So basically the tube slides into this, and then you can tack on these small places without like heating up this big chunk, so that you don't have a bunch of burn through and stuff. So yeah, I got two of these, coming from the exhaust manifold. I got this triangle one. This goes to the rear section. I got another one on the way so that they can bolt together. I got, an exhaust, two of these. These are 1/2-inch exhaust hangers. These are gonna be really, really fun to bend. I think I'll probably like just notch it out and then bend it and then weld it around. And then I got 4 of these hose clamps. These are from Evil Energy, but I got some other ones that I'll probably use. I like those a little bit better. But what I'll do is, I got the same muffler that Lost Cause Ranch did. I think it comes in a 14 and an 18-inch length, and I didn't want that hot rod chop, as I was pulling into a campsite or anything like that. So I went with the longer one to quiet it down a little bit. It's actually underneath the disco right now, and I'll take you under there to have a look. It's just kind of zip tied into place. So the first step is I want that stabilized. I want it completely flat and stabilized and hanging. So what I'll do is I'll bend these up and weld them to the clamp, and then clamp into the muffler itself. And so once that's stabilized, then I can just connect the dots, right? So I can connect the tail section to the muffler, and then I can connect from the headers or the exhaust manifold to the actual muffler itself. So honestly, from a fabrication standpoint, it doesn't seem that too difficult, but let's get to it. All right, guys, so here's the first look at it. Kind of comes up. I just have it zip tied right now. So the first step is to get this, get from here up to here, so I can get that permanently hung. And then I'll stick a piece of PVC pipe in it just to get it more stabilized. It'll make sense as we go along. And I'm gonna do that for both of the front and the rear hangers. And get that stabilized, and then I'll just connect the dots from there. So bending 1/2-inch stainless rod doesn't sound like a real enjoyable time. So I have it marked off where the bend line needs to be. And I'm gonna notch it in a couple places and pierce through a good majority of this. And then I can bend it, and I'll just run a weld bead through it. Unique to stainless, well, I guess you should really do this for all metals anyways, but you gotta make sure that everything is like immaculately clean. That includes the joint. Just make sure that there's no chemicals and stuff in here, grinding residue, or really anything that's gonna make it pop. So Okay, so what I did now is I used this is a 45, and it's not exact for this, but it provides me with a template that's a little bit more usable. I got this 60-degree bend here too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the 60 down below, because I think it's probably closer to that. And we're gonna test this up to see where I need to cut this line down here. All right, let's see if I can film this one-handed. So there it is, kind of stabilized and running parallel with this frame rail here. And it's pretty well tucked flush, so it shouldn't really scrape that much. Realistically, I probably could have brought it up about another ½ inch, but it is what it is right now. So that PVC pipe that I showed you previously, what we're doing is we're just gonna stick it in here, and then you can see it's kind of, see if we can get the camera angle right. Yeah, so the PVC pipe just gets stuck in here, and then we test that to see like how it's gonna go. So I think that's gonna be closer to a 45, because I want it to tuck. I want it to tuck fairly tight into here, into this area, and then it'll just go straight back into there. Or that's the idea anyways. So yeah, maybe I will use the 60. Let's see if I can show you what I did here. So I basically, this is the 45, is it the 45 or is it the 60? This is the 45. And the reason I went with the 45 is I wanted to be able to tweak it a little bit if I needed to sand it down. So I just placed it up like this, marked the cut line right here, and then I got this band that I'm gonna tighten around, and then mark the line all the way around so that I know that it's even. Change this out, cut it, offer it up, tack it. Film this, but this is what we got. So I got the tube pressed in, and then it's gonna come along this rail. It's gonna probably hit this, so I'm gonna need to shave this down, maybe even this little stud right here for the mount, and then it's gonna pass through and come into here. So first step is to tack all this up, and then bolt it back in and connect the dots, rinse, repeat. So basically, this is precisely what I was afraid of. This is a 4-foot section of the tube, and this is the main piece for the first leg, which gives me about 18 inches left over, and that's not going to be enough. I think the reason why is Lost Cause did some cats, and what sucks is I'm going to have to cut all this out and put cats on it later on anyways, but just to get this running, I'm going to get this leg tacked up and on the car, and then I'm gonna have to run into Dallas to get another piece of 4 foot at an extortionate price. At the bottom by quite a bit, so I need to just basically do a cut right here. I'll probably clamp this down and then just come in and cut, and then I don't know, hopefully this works. Actually, I'm not going to clamp it, I'm just going to go for it. One really wanted to fight fight me. But this is the second leg. I have it marked. Time to cut through this and get that tacked on and kind of start connecting the dots. Until we get more material, so I'm just going to finish weld this tube, this 45 up here. I'm a little unsure it's on Alskate tack, but I'll finish weld all of this, starting with the base, and then I'll flip it to the inside of the base just so it has the double coverage. Not the best, but not terrible either. I think it'll hold. If you look down in here, see that's oxidization. It's basically crystallizing up because I didn't back purge the when I did that weld, mostly for the positioning. So I'm going to go through, where's my finger? Yeah, and fuse all around that, and then kind of sand it flat, make sure everything's good. So that's sort of the next step. So I'll hit you back when it's ready. Here we have it. So I use filler a couple places, but most of that's fused. So I've never really used an exhaust flange that actually has a flange that you can kind of fuse around it. So usually I weld the inside of the tube to kind of keep that stress down. But yeah, this one was a bit unique. So I'm going to cool this down and then do the finish welding. Actually, no, I'm going to call it a day. Well, yeah, what the hell. So nothing fancy going on here. I have this tube going to the second radiator. I'm back purging it now, and it's filling it up. I'm not going to do this 45 down here, so I just kind of taped it off to trap the argon in. So once this fills up, which should be any moment now, I'll get to welding. there it is, guys. It's fully welded. I fused most of it, blew some holes in some of it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that piece that turned out. All right, guys, made it through the weekend, and here's what we're going to do today. I can't really take you under there because it doesn't film well, but the passenger side leg is crossing over the transfer case and needs to mate up with the another tube that's inserted in the actual muffler. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. And rather than mess up a bunch of stainless, I'm going to use this white PVC tube as a coupon to sort of kind of start to estimate what angles I need to cut the bend at. And again, I'll try to take you under there. Okay, it's day 3 of the stupid build, and here's what we got. You can see that I'm having trouble joining the stainless to the mild, so I gotta figure out a solution. I think I have like a small pie cut or something. I may be able to wrap it around that and then weld that through, but it's definitely not my best work. The underside is fine, but well, I need to sand that down a bit, but yeah, you get the idea. Here's the back section. This is the stock Land Rover. From here to down here is the stock Land Rover mild steel. I have half a mind to paint this black, but I'm honestly, I'll get into this with the whole wrap up, but this, I'm gonna go into the car once this cools down. I'm gonna go into the car, get this installed, and then I need to mark out for the O2 sensors. I know this is a mess, guys. This is absolutely terrible, but it's what I'm working with right now, and doing the best that I can with what I got. This isn't going to be the best view, but this is the best I can do for you guys. So there's the Land Rover part, comes into a flange that's completely unnecessary, goes into a double band. One's the hanger, one is the squeezer. I don't know what else it's called. Goes into the muffler and then goes out. So that's pretty much what it looks like. So now I'm going to mark where the O2 sensors go and get that welded in. So yeah, I don't love this part. Again, phase 2 will be all stainless, and then another part of phase 2 is I'm going to drop the cats down. So yeah, effectively I'm going to kind of be making a lot of this again, but it's important to be compliant. So here's where I am with the exhaust. It's 6 inches from this flange down to this hole right here. This right here, this part is the stainless piece, the bung that gets welded to the actual tube here. And what's gonna happen is I'm waiting on a step drill bit, because when I insert this in here, you can see there's that large gap and it's getting hung up down in here. So I need to drill that out to 7/8. This is just a 1/2 inch right now. So we're gonna wait on that. But in the meantime, all right, guys, there you have it. If you made it this far, thank you. Please drop a like. Please drop a subscribe down below. Please pass this on to your friends. I really need to get my subscriber count up, and I need to get my views up. But that being said, the exhaust, I think, came out pretty well. I think I would grade it out at about a 90. I was really out of practice on the welds, and that had some compromises to it, and just presented a lot of challenges, honestly. I forgot that you have to be so precisely clean with stainless, including wiping out the inside, back purging, all the normal best practices you see on the internet. Now there's gonna be some haters that are like, you're going to be going through the Darien Gap and your muffler's going to fly off and it's going to hit another overlander and they're going to die and you're going to ruin overlanding for everyone else. And that might be true. That really might be true. But I think it's pretty sturdy and I think it's a pretty legit exhaust. And again, much love to Lost Cause Ranch for pioneering all that. But yeah, so again, I mentioned this in the episode, but just to reiterate, this is just basically phase one. Phase two, I'm going to be going back in with the catalytic converters, and that rear section that's got the mild steel, I'm going to stainless that out too, just for peace of mind. But in an effort to get this thing up and running, and I'm way over budget on this thing. In an effort to get this up and running, this will do for the next, until I get all the demons sorted out on this thing. But yeah, guys, again, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you on the next episode.